Due to the ignorance of our host, parental discretion is advised.
Welcome back to How Did It Get So Good, episode 285. My guess, there's no guess. There's another time and there's no guess. But I'm gonna tell you why there's no guess. Because I actually had two people schedule like one after the other. I scheduled one last weekend, and they're like, "Hey, I can't make it because of this." And I go, "Oh, that's fine, dude. No worries." And again, that's the cool thing about this. I could just come do it, myself. But then today, I'm actually just walking out of a date with DJ Bible O'Brien, and we went to see Bad Boys. Bad Boys, Bad Boys. What you gonna do? You see this? What you gonna do? Will we come for you? So yeah, when we saw the movie, I think other than the first one, because we didn't know each other back then when that one, came out. We weren't dating back then, but I think every single movie after the first one we've gone seen. So we went and saw it, and then I asked him. I said, "Well, I gotta go and record and pay rent," and he's like, "Well, maybe I'll do it with you." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Have the boy back, the boy, bad boy, the boy." You know what I mean? And then on the way, he's like, "Let me make a couple phone calls and see if I can do this." And then he called me. He's like, "I can't do this." I was like, "Well, it's fine. I'll do it yet again." This episode is brought to you by Will Wonder's Vices. He made a comment saying like those Vices might be bad. Do beer go bad? Like expire or something? Actually, beer does. This seltzer probably doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't say like best. Oh, right here at the bottom. What does it say? August. If that's the date that it says you shouldn't drink it, this is not only bad on me, but like shame on you, Will, because if this is the date, it says August 29, 2022. Fuck Will. Let's see. I don't know how you can call yourself a man and drink that, but you do you. You do you, Will. Black cherry. Oh, black cherry, Riverland. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we went to see Bad Boys. Dude, Bad Boys. You know what? I tell you what. And I was just thinking about this because back when I used to do that other podcast, Justin would make fun of me because I like Bad Boys, one of my favorite movies of all times. But I think it's the fact that, and I was thinking about this on the way here. I think it's the fact that I want to have that relationship with somebody that even on the worst, like even on the biggest or in the most dangerous moments, they can be fun and they can bust each other's balls. I mean, like they're getting shot at. They're not, but they are, right? They're getting shot at and everything, and then they're yelling. They're like, it's funny, and I kind of want to see if I ever get into a shootout with some people or like somewhere if I'm gonna be funny with my friends. Well, bullets are flying by, but hopefully that is right. And sometimes I wonder like what will happen if like something goes down. One of my friends, shout out to Skyler, he just sent me a meme saying like, what are the three most, or like the three things that makes you worry the most? And one of them was like, the first two were dumb, so I don't remember. But it was like, let's just say, not being able to provide for my family and like having my friends, be well, I don't know. And then the third one says, having someone break into the house while I'm taking a shower and having to fight with my dong out. that'd be kind of embarrassed. But also, if you break it into a house, you get beat up by a naked guy. Shame on you. All right, don't break a house if you don't know how to fight. Right. But yeah, I thought it was funny. But Bad Boys 4, Ride or Die. It was fun, dude. It was fun. I enjoy it. Enjoyed it, and there was some funny parts as usual. But I think it goes beyond the acting, right? Beyond the being a masterpiece or whatever. You know, I don't know. What are you looking to? What are you looking into? Like when it comes to movies, right? Like, what do you? I don't know. I just like the fact that they're friends, and I think it hits home because, you know, my friends are my boys, right? My friends are I don't know why I've been doing this lately, like whatever. But yeah, my friends are my boys and they're my homies, and I just want to be able to say, hey, I got you. You know, we ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. But I only do that with Brian, which we never decided who's who, right? Because I'm taller. I think I'm a little taller, which makes me Will Smith. But every time we're together and we're going somewhere, he's always driving, so that makes him Will Smith. I don't know. But anyway, good movie. I approve it. But yeah, I mean, if that's your thing, you know, if you're more into like Gone with the Wind kind of shit, maybe you're not gonna like this, right? But it was fun. And then Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out on the 26th, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta see if somebody will come with me. Maybe my little brother. Maybe my little brother will come with me. But yeah. Something that happened last weekend, like I told you. UFC 303, I think. I hang out with Dre because he gets paid. He never misses a day. Hosts ended up coming at the end. That didn't sound good, but you know what I mean. Oh, and Dalton was there. That's when I got there. He was there. I haven't seen Dalton in forever. I think back when I saw him, he had a full set of hair, and but not anymore. And he was there. And it was good to see him. It was good to talk to him for a second. And again, you know, just hanging out with the boys, having a salad, watching the fights. I'm good, dude. I'm good. That's like one of the. It just doesn't. I don't have to go out of my way to do that. That's I welcome that. I'm like, no. This is something that I do. I enjoy the time. I enjoy the time. I enjoy the hang. I enjoy the food. I enjoy the view. So yeah, that was good. So Pereira won. I don't know if you follow it, but Pereira won. I like how I don't know much about MMA, right? I just enjoy it. I can actually start pinpointing people like, oh, I know that guy, or I know that guy, but he when like Alex, everybody calls this guy Alex Pereira. It's not Pereira, it's Pereira from Brazil. But not a lot of people can say that shit, right? Pereira. That's like beyond our usage, because it's not R, it's not the R, is a R. You know what I mean? The R, like Pereira, and that's twice, dude. Pereira, and that's hard for people to say. But yeah, he won again. He fucking sucker kicked this guy's head, and out he went. But yeah, that was fun. What else? Let me check on my list here. Oh, finally, yes, as of yesterday, I meant to say, garage is completely done at the house. It's clean. Truck fits just fine. 2 trips to the DI. The bike has space. My truck has space. My tools are all put together. My shelves are all put together. All the stuff on the shelves, it's there. So yeah, it's starting to feel like home. Now all I gotta do is a couple details inside of the house, and it should be good. It should be good to go. One thing I gotta say, dude, I thought because maybe because maybe because all the garages are together by like they're all alleyways, right? It's all concrete. It's like I was mentioning last week. I figured because all the driveways are in the back of the house, which they're all like kind of, you know, close to each other. I figured it would be more of a social kind of thing. I figured there would be like a lot of people out, like just sitting and chilling, like out in the, I don't know why I thought this, but I figured they would be just sitting down and just chilling and being neighbors, right? Just pulling out the foldable chairs out there. And then again, it's hot as shit, dude. But I haven't met one. So I met my neighbor, my literally next door neighbor. She was kind of like, eh. Like we've waved at each other, right? But she's not like, hey, what's up? Like she's just like I'm like, hey, dude, from far away, okay? I'm like, all right. And then I went to get the mail a couple days ago because they, you know, all the mails are into like this big box that you go in there, which is kind of like an apartment kind of thing. You go in there and you have your own key, and then you open it, and your mail is there. And this lady was like packing stuff in her car, and she was like on my way to my garage, and so I stop and I say, hey, what's up? And she was like, oh, hi. And I said, oh, I'm your new neighbor. And she's like, oh, where are you at? And I go, right there. She goes, oh, cool. And then I met another guy that I say, hey, I'm your new neighbor. And he was like, bitch, we just moved in. I was like, oh, how long you been here? She's like, I don't know, 3 days. I was like, oh, so you're my new neighbor. All right, I get it. So, yeah, I guess I just thought, and then here's another one. We just celebrated the 4th of July. For some reason, I thought, oh, everybody's gonna be out in their outside of their garage and like maybe cooking, and like everything's gonna be like a togetherness, right? Doing stuff with the community. But boy, I was wrong. There was nobody out. And then I tell you what, dude, I celebrated America's birthday in my balcony. You know, just in a lounge chair, smoking a cigar and drinking beer. Now, it was Mexican beer, but I don't think America cares. And I just, from far away, I could see the fireworks here and there. But again, nobody out. And right where my balcony is, like right across, again, the alleyway, there's another house, another 3-story home, and there's a balcony there. Now it faces the other direction, but you can see him and they can see me. Nobody there. And they just like they walk around, and every now and then, like I'm in my room and stuff, and then I look out the window and there's somebody like walking a dog or whatever, and then, but that's it, dude. Nothing. Not too many people. And when I asked that lady that was putting stuff in her car, I think she told me she was going to go paddle boarding or whatever. And I mentioned to her, I'm like, oh, I figured it would be like more like social. And she's like, no, I think that's just Utah. And I was like, but don't talk to me like I just got here, right? I've been here for 23 years. Don't disrespect me like that. You don't know me. You don't know my life. But, yeah. Probably the only bad thing I have to say, dude. Other than that, I still enjoy it. And so I got this flyer sent to me to the house Well, they shove it at my door, and it was like a it was like like a brunch breakfast in like a park around the corner from the house, and everybody from the community was invited. And but then again, I went and had breakfast with mother, and then I came back and I kind of drove by the park, and everybody was just like getting done with it, so everybody was walking away. Also, ever since last week, I thought about this weekend, because it's a long weekend, I want to go and I want to do some shopping. And I knew that my mother worked on Friday. So Friday, yeah. So I said, Mom, she says I didn't, but I said, Mom, next week, because it's a long weekend for me, let's go do some shopping because I need some stuff for the house. Boy needs a bed. Boy needs a new bed. And she's like, okay. And then on Friday, she hits me with like, hey, I want to go see your sister. I'm like, what the fuck? She goes, well, your little brother's working. My husband's working. Like, so might as well just go. I'm like, oh, what about the son that doesn't work? Fuck him, huh? So she went and saw my sister, which is, I get it, It's her only daughter, right? It's her only girl. And she's too busy to come over, I guess. So my mom goes and sees her. And speaking of family, there's a hurricane going into my hitting my hometown. I think it's lower to they call it tropical storm, right? I think it's going down in strength, in power. It was a category 3, I think, at one point. But yeah, I guess it kind of slowed down. But it was, my hometown is just a magnet for hurricanes. But did I say this last episode? I don't even fucking know, dude. But anyway, so yeah, so it slowed down. So I was like, okay, well, there's no reason to freak out, right? Let's just take it easy. Someone asked me, are you going to call your family? I'm like, I'll call them the next day. See what's going on. Because if I call them the day prior, they're going to say like, well, we're here. We're waiting for it. I remember I was having breakfast with my mom, and I remember the back in the they said it was September 8th, 1988. It was probably the most powerful, till this day, the most powerful hurricane that came into my hometown, and it was called Gilberto or Gilberto or Gilbert. Is that a name? Gilbert? Hey, yo, Gilbert. Ooh. Gilberto. So it was like Gilberto, and it was 88. And that one, dude, that one did some damage. In fact, we were looking, I guess it was a category 5, which was crazy. It was like, it came in, and boy, it was slamming everything for several hours. And I remember I don't know if nowadays is the same, but I remember back in the day that you would know that there's a hurricane coming. There's a hurricane coming. Shout out to all my wrestling fans. I knew that we knew that when there's a hurricane coming, that you would tape the windows, so they don't do this, right? So they don't shake. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I don't know if that's one of those things that grandmas used to do. Then now we don't, right? Like now you look at it like that's stupid, right? Like face mask. But yeah, and I remember across the street from we all went to my grandma's house. Obviously, my mom, like, we had our own home, but it was such a big deal that we all went to my grandma's house, and we all stayed there together. And right across the street from my mom's, behind the house across the street from my mom, there was a windmill. And I remember I couldn't sleep because that thing was slamming so bad, and the noise was so bad. They ended up destroying the thing. At the end, they just tore it down because I mean it was fucked up beyond repair. But we were looking into like videos on YouTube, and they got like some obviously from ADA, right? So the images are shitty. But there was like some images from downtown and all the trees, pulled down and all the roots out in the open, and obviously power. And I was thinking about this with my mom because we went to my grandma's house and we stayed there. But the next day, 88, there was no cell phones, right? 88, there was no cell phones, and then also because of the power lines and the winds and everything, but everything got fucked up to the point where like you couldn't communicate, and you couldn't communicate for like a couple of days. And now when you think about it, it's like, how the fuck do we even know that our other family is alive, or if they make it or made it? It's crazy to think how we take all these things for granted, right? Because now I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from this friend for a long time, and you just send a text or you just give a call. You're like, what's up, dude? And they're like, hey, instantly, right? For the people that answer fast. But if you don't, like, imagine there's no cell phones, and all you have is a landline. But now the landline got fucked up because of a hurricane. And now you're just like, well, I guess we'll find out when we find out. Those are crazy times, dude. And the images from these videos in from the 88 in the Yucatan Peninsula after Hurricane Gilberto, there's a famous image that I will never forget, and it was like an oiler, like a tanker ship, like an oiler. Right next to a house. It got pushed out into. You gotta understand, like all those houses got, like they were. I mean, I don't know. Were they underwater? Right? You don't know. But when I was a kid, I remember going to the beach, and there were some areas where some of the houses that were damaged by this specific hurricane. They were kept just like that, and there was like holes in there was like holes in the wall, and you're like, oh, what did this? Water, dude. And when you put that all together, because back home the walls, they're not wood and plywood, they're concrete, they're cinder blocks. But imagine the power of the water that when it slammed against this, it breaks a hole. Think about it. And then he brought this oiler, I don't know what else to call it, just tanker ship, this huge ship into, the front yard of a home. That's how much power that thing had, dude. And they're talking about, I think it was about $87 million into fixing and restoring everything. It's very these videos were very informative, and I never even knew that they were out there. Again, because these are things that if we recorded with into tapes, right? Like, who's out there putting all these tapes into YouTube videos? I don't know, but shout out to you. I appreciate it. And there's some people that will say, oh yeah, I remember doing this, I remember doing that. 88, I would have been 6 years old. God damn, dude, I still remember. 6 years old, right? I was born in 82. I was 6 years old. Wow, that's crazy. And out of the 11 grandkids, there was only 3 of us then. But yeah, it was like, I'll never forget it. That's the only time that I've been into one, or in one. or during one, and I never even felt a earthquake till I came here a few years ago. Now that was crazy because it made me feel like I am like, if you think about the size of Utah, I am just one little, grain of sand. Is that what it is? Grain of sand? Because the aftershocks, they will happen, and then you go, oh, like the whole earth is moving. How minuscule are we? We have no power over this. And I was living in the house with the wife and the kids, and I had roomies, and my roomie from downstairs, she spent the day upstairs. She's like, I don't want to be downstairs. I don't know. It's just a fear. First time she ever went through one. First time I went to, and by the way, and when it happened, I was driving. I didn't feel anything. All I know for a fact, this is how I knew that we just went through an earthquake, or an earthquake just happened. I was driving to work, and then I was listening to the radio, and then all of a sudden the radio went for like 2 minutes, and I was like, oh shit. And then they came back, and then they're like, hey, just so you guys know, we just went through we just had an earthquake, and by the way, shout out to our friend Becca, because Becca, it was back in the days when Becca was on the radio, and I remember one of those guys said, Becca's actually kind of like freaking out. She's never been in one, and she's like calling her kids and all that stuff. So I went to work, and because for the longest time it was like they would say, oh my god, do you feel that earthquake? And it's so mild that you're like, oh, I had no idea. Oh, we just had an earthquake 2 hours ago. And I'm like, really? What was I doing? I didn't feel it. But this one was so big, I can't remember the scale and the Richter scale. I can't remember what it was, but by the time I went to work, I'm like, hey, did we just have? And they were like, yeah, dude, did you feel it? I'm like, no, I was driving. But yeah, so apparently, and I can't. I think we went home early just because everybody was worried about, hey, let's go check in with our families, see if our homes are okay. Like I had some walls that were cracked. So I think we left home early. We all went home. And yeah, and then the aftershocks. But then the aftershocks would like, one of them would be like, and that's it, right? But then another one would be like it was like it takes a few seconds more, and you're like, you get that feeling of like, oh, fucking, what do you call it? A sinkhole can happen in my house, and I'm gone, and I don't know what the fuck happened. But so that was my first hurricane. Was my first Gilberto. But by the way, how come we don't name earthquakes, huh? Yeah, there's one. There's one for you. Hurricanes, like what? And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we name hurricanes like on an alphabetical order? Like the first one would be Angel, second one will be Brian. Third one will be I don't know. Is there another podcaster out there with the C? But yeah, how come we don't do earthquakes, huh? Hey, did you feel did you feel Angel? Did you feel Earthquake Angel? Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, we don't name him. But anyway, so I don't even know how I got here, but Yeah, I celebrated 4th of July. Hey, by the way, I have no idea that I was gonna become after um putting it out for so long or pushing it off for so long. I became a Costco lady, and I tell you what, dude. Every day I'm like, why can't I go do Costco? And today was no exception. I bought me breakfast because my mom, once again, is in Arizona. And I went to Costco, get me breakfast, dude. Telling you. I'm telling you. But anyway, Brian said that he might, we should schedule this for sometime next week. Even if it's during the week. So I'll have a guest here soon. Don't worry about it. I'll make it happen. And if not, who cares, dude? I come here, you talk to me for like half hour, 45 minutes. That's all I ask. Right? That's all I ask. I'm easy like a Sunday morning. Anyway. Hope you had a fantastic 4th of July. Hopefully you still have all your fingers and toes. By the way, here in between you and me, okay? Don't tell this to anybody. But, you know, Bad Boys 4 has been out for a hot second now. Couple weeks maybe, 2-3 weeks. And Brian bought the tickets before we got there, right? And we're sitting in this row all by ourselves right in the middle. There's 3 seats on his side, there's 3 seats on my side. There's a what I think would be like an older couple and their daughter, but like their daughter was like an adult, right? Like I'm talking about maybe this girl went to the movies with her dad and with her mom, right? But she was like maybe high 20s, right? Maybe early 30s. And like I said, we were the only ones. We were in the middle. There was, like I said, movie's old, and it's not like everybody's dying to watch Bad Boys, like Brian and me. But the room was empty. There was, I don't think there was 10 people in there. And this guy sat right next to me, dude. And all I had on my side was 3 seats, right? So it was the mom, the dad, and then the girl sat right next to me. Open toe shoes. Holla at you, boy. Hey. I didn't make her sit there. Okay? All I'm saying is she got there, she fucking started lean back, the fucking flip-flops came up. I'm like, oh, and then and then I look at Brian, I'm like, hey, look, and Brian's like, well, aren't you lucky? So that happened. So I only watched half of the movie. What? Just kidding. No. But yeah, good movie. Go see it. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I think that's all, dude. I think that's all. I came here. I'm paying rent. Putting a little bit of conk. I'm just checking in with you. That's all I'm doing. Once I get somebody here, we'll go back to the regular programming. But to those 2 people that canceled on me, you owe me. Especially the first one to cancel on me. But it's all good, dude. It's all good. People are busy. I get it. And this is summer, right? People are traveling. People are... And the guy was like, hey, I'm sorry I can't do it because of this. And then the next day, because it was the 4th of July, I knew that he was traveling. So it was like, we couldn't move it to another day. It's all right. Tits all right. But anyway, that's all, dude. That's all I got. That's what I say in one of the meetings at work. I say like, it's either Justin or me running the meeting 1 week and 1 week, and then when it's my week and I finish, I'm like, and that's all I got. So My work here is done. And same here. By the way, I turned the cameras and the audio on and I started recording. The second I sat down, my gut was like, hey, dude, we need more space in here. And boy, let me tell you what, this is not helping. If something happens to me, get a hold of Will Wonder. Let him know that I drank a beer that he left here. He left here. He says he hasn't been here since October. That's less than a year ago. And he brought a beer, and it says August 29, 2022. You know, I guess, you know, he keeps a good stash at home and brings the old shit. I see how it is. But anyway, thank you so much. Again, there's still people that are, you know, messaging me every week and starting to follow the podcast and liking the clips. We still get some followers on YouTube. Thank you so much. I have no idea what to do with Facebook. The only thing that kind of hurts is the fact that I had pictures there that I don't have anymore, right? Because that's what social media is, right? It's a photo album. But because of Instagram came way after, I have like newer photos there, quote unquote newer. But on Facebook, I had like, you know, back when I was married and on my wedding day and my friend's wedding day and like people from school in Mexico. The first time I took my ex-wife to Mexico. The second time I took my ex-wife to Mexico. When we went to Arizona. I mean, it's just, you know, shit that I've done that I don't know if I'll get back. But that's whatever, dude, I guess. You know me. I'll just roll with the punches. But anyway, thank you so much for supporting me, supporting the show. Hopefully I haven't disappointed you yet. I'll bring somebody here. I promise I'll bring somebody in here. But hey, it was gonna happen today. It was gonna happen this weekend. It was gonna happen twice. So that's out of it's you know it's out of my. What do you say? It's not my fault. You know it's out of the things that I can't fix. They say yes, and then because of personal issues, they couldn't. And I'm mad, and I was like, no worries, dude. I'll sit there and talk to my demons like I usually do. Like I podcast at home. I don't podcast at home, but like I'm moving shit around in the garage, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, maybe if I move this here, but like out loud, right? That's what I do. I talk out loud. And I'm like, maybe if I put this here and I just hang it from here, so that area is open, and then I put that there, which is going to give me more space here for this and that. And so coming here and talking it's the same thing, dude. But anyway, now for the last time, thank you so much. You can catch this show, How Did It Get So Good, on Instagram and YouTube. You can catch me on Severa on Instagram and my OnlyFans. Once again, this has been How Did It Get So Good? Take it over, fellas.